Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good afternoon to all the viewers. I'm Hiral Dadia. Clearly, if you go to see an interesting day of trade where we've seen this superb 130 points recovery from the day's lowest levels in terms of Nifty 50, and we are above those 9,600 levels. Whether we will see closing above 19,600 is going to be interesting to watch out for. Joining us on the show to discuss more on this, we have Ajit Mishra, VP at Religare. Ajit, good afternoon and welcome to the show. 130 points recovery from the day's low and without contribution from the banking names. How are you looking at it?
Yeah, good afternoon, Niraj. So yes, it was the first day of weekly expiry for the banking index on Wednesday, and I was anticipating that banking might could do something because we were seeing that banking has been underperforming for quite some time. Failed to hold up a 44,700 mark, but it turned out to be otherwise. That other index measures, yes, from the banking space, HDFC is contributing roughly around 28 points in this entire recovery. But the other index measures from the defensive basket and stock like Bharti Airtel, Tata Consumer, they are contributing to this move. So in a way, it's good that we are seeing this recovery, but will it sustain? And plus, earlier also we had this attempt of Nifty crossing 19,650, which is the area of reversal. So without banking, I doubt that this move would sustain. So we need to see whether banking also participates in the move in days to come. But otherwise, a good participation overall.
So, if you see the highest Y concentration is at 20,000 for calls and 19,000 for puts right now. Do you think we will soon, in September series, retest the 20,000 landmark?
So yeah, it's quite possible because here in the entire profit-taking phase, we had 5 weeks of profit-taking phase, where index reduced only to 3 to 4%, from the record highs. So it's not a big deal in case if Nifty manages to hold above 650, and that is 19,650 level, then 20,000 is something that we can easily surpass, in the September series, provided again, as I've said, that banking should participate.
Hmm. So how are you looking at Bank Nifty? Because even as you mentioned, it has remained sluggish. It has been a narrow range, and it's hovering near the significant 50 EMA of around 44,500 for quite some time. How easy is it going to be for it to actually breach above those 44,500 to 45,000 kind of levels?
See, the challenging part here is that within the private banking space, we are seeing mixed trend. So Kotak, HDFC, they were sitting on the sidelines, in fact, inching lower, while ICICI and Axis were holding strong. But today, in fact, the Axis and ICICI also were witnessing profit taking. So that somehow making it very difficult for banking to make a move above 44,700, which is the first area of resistance, and the ultimate resistance around 45,100. So until we see this alignment within the private banking space at least, I doubt that there will be any meaningful move.
Okay. So let's look at individual names. You have names like Voltas, IGL, Petronet, all of these are seeing a bullish setup in trade today. What should the strategy be?
So Voltas, Viral, as a disclosure that we have recommended to our clients of late around 860 level. So it's a decent, almost 1 year long consolidation phase, which was ended around 800 levels. And now we are seeing the follow-up move. So we believe that the negativity or the corrective tone that we were seeing in Voltas is over, and we're going to see the stock retesting a level close to 1010 is what we have recommended as a target. So one can definitely look Voltas as a positional bet. And if I'm not wrong, that 840, 850 is the range basically where we have kept our stop losses. IGL also we are seeing recovery, but it's not very significant because if you'll see the other gas distribution name or the other energy counters, they are still witnessing sideways to a negative trend. So I feel that for IGL at least one should utilize this rebound to exit in case if you are holding any long position.
Okay. How are you looking at Apollo tires? That's seeing some bit of a bearish setup in trade today. What's your view?
So Apollo tires, yes, it's a normal decline that we would say that the stock has been hovering around the medium-term moving average, trying to form a base, but it unfortunately was a breakdown today. But the way we are seeing recovery, it's important to see whether it manages to hold this level on a closing basis or not. So I feel that one should avoid any fresh position, but in case if you have a existing trade, you should book profit and let the stock stabilize above 400 to re-entry or a dip towards 360, not in between.
Okay. How are you looking at names from the large cap space, specifically a Tata Consumer, which has seen a strong move in today's session? What would you advise?
So yes, Tata Consumer. In fact, either we were eyeing this stock very closely because almost after 2 years of consolidation within this 650 to 800 range, it was hovering in a very narrow band from last 6 8 weeks. So this is a clear breakout that we have with very strong volumes. So one can definitely attempt long position even at the current level, as per after the 4% kind of a surge, because we are anticipating near close to around 950, 960 in the near future and positionally around 1050 levels. So with stop at 850, one can still initiate fresh longs in Tata Consumers.
Right, so that's with regards to Tata Consumers. Moving on, Pharma Pack has seen a slight bit of volatility, but it's come back. Divis and Cipla seeing some strong moves today. What's your view?
So yes, in fact, last week the defenses were in the back foot. Both FMCG and pharma, ended in the red. So now we are seeing a bit of a recovery, and Divis looks okay because the damage was marginal. In fact, in the recent high from 3850 levels, and plus we have multiple supports around this 3500 mark. So yes, one can attempt for long, but do maintain stick stop at 3650 because below that the tone is again going to turn sideways. And upside 3850, 3900 should be your target area. For Cipla, after this strong surge that we had and the stock is trading anyways closer to the record highs, one should wait for a confirmation about 1265, 1270 levels to break out for next leg of the up move. Otherwise, this consolidation may extend.
Right. Ajit, apart from the names that we've discussed, anything else that comes to your radar that should be good investment opportunities?
Yes, so Bharti Airtel, Airtel is one such candidate which one can look at even at the fresh current levels because there was hardly any correction during the corrective phase, and now we are seeing a breakout from the buying pivot formation. So it's quoting at 882 with stop at 870. One can buy Bharti Airtel for 910 as a target. And then we have some of these stocks from the FMCG basket like Britannia, wherein we've seen decent consolidation around the long-term averages. Stock is quoting around 45.87, so one can initiate longs in futures with stop at around 4500 and 47.25, 47.50 as a target area.
Okay. How are you looking at the IT pack? Because there is pressure building in today again.
So IT, in fact, as a sector, I see it otherwise because we have almost 1.5 years kind of a consolidation in the IT index, which we have finally surpassed last week. So I feel that it's a normal breather that we are seeing in these stocks, after the recent move. But yes, one needs to be selective in this space because earlier also, like we were seeing the similar kind of attraction wherein the select mid-cap IT names like Persistent, Birlasoft, they were doing exceptionally well while the others were sitting on the sidelines. But this time around, the breadth has improved, and in fact, in the large cap IT names also, like HCL is anyways leading from the front. Then we have recovery in Infosys, Tech Mahindra, TCS also. So yes, one can still be selective and accumulate IT names. So for this week, in fact, we have recommended to our clients to accumulate auto, IT, and metals largely. So we feel that yes, one can continue to accumulate the top IT names like HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra on any dip.
Right. And why would you say metals? Because we are seeing some bit of profit booking that's coming in terms of metal names. Are charts indicating strength?
Yes, so in fact, it was on the basis of the last week's closing, and now we are seeing a bit of a profit taking in all the index, metal majors like Tata Steel, Hindalco. So we feel it's a normal profit taking within the metal space, and the overall tone as per the index, Nifty Metal Index, that's likely to remain positive. So one can utilize this, profit taking consolidation to accumulate.
Okay. How are you looking at a Balrampur Chini?
So yes, sugar as a pack. In fact, here we are seeing traction, and Balrampur, being a very prominent name in this space, is not showing the kind of traction that we were seeing otherwise. So EID, Perry, Renuka, uh, Bajaj, Hind, those stocks are basically witnessing more traction. But from the short-term trading perspective, also we feel that 430 to 380 is broadly the range that we are trading in for Balrampur Chini, and we are closer to the upper band of the same. So one should maintain caution. So despite the positivity which we are seeing in the sugar space, the upside seems capped. So one should maintain stop at 405 for any position, fresh position, and around 430-35 one should book profits.
Okay. And how are you seeing a SRF? Because again, you're seeing some bit of short covering that's coming in terms of SRF as we speak. What should the strategy be?
So SRF, it's almost like 2 years that we have been seeing the stock hovering in this band, 2100 to 2750, 2800 levels. So off late, it retested the lower band, and now we are seeing gradual recovery. And yes, indications are in the favor that this recovery should extend. But for fresh buying, I would recommend one should wait for any dip around 2400 mark, because your stop loss is at around 2350, 2340 area. So in case if you are okay with 100-point kind of a stop loss, even one can initiate fresh long even at the current levels. But upside, the risk reward is not favorable, because 2550, 2570 is going to be the first area of resistance.
Right, so that's with regards to where SRF goes. So lots of movers and shakers that we've discussed as well. Thank you, Ajit, so much for joining us on the show. It's going to be interesting to watch out for how markets move from here on, but an interesting recovery that we've seen from the day's lowest levels as we speak. And the recovery is sustaining, and the close seems to be above those 19,600 levels. Though this up move is without the actual participation from Bank Nifty as well. Though you have HDFC Bank, which is one of the top gainers, so good contribution coming in from there. 1.5% up move. Tata Consumers is up in trade over 4%. Divi's Laboratories, Britannia, as well as Bharti Airtel, these are few of the top gainers. On the losing end, you had metal counters which are trading weak. So Tata Steel, Hindalco, the top losers. Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank from the financial pack seeing cuts as well. NTPC, another one, seeing cuts in today's session as well. So interesting moves coming in there, but the breadth is absolutely in favor of the advances. If you see in terms of the broader markets as well, it's interesting where we did see a lot of indices actually hit record high levels, but there has been some bit of a correction coming in there. If you look at few of the names and sectors where we've seen some rotation happen, fertilizer stocks have been in focus on the rise. So you have names like Madras Fertilizer, RCF, Natural Fert, as well as a Deepak Fertilizer. Sugar Pack continues to see an up move as well. Paper stocks have seen some smart run in today's session, from a Tamil Nadu newsprint to an Andhra paper to a West Coast paper to a JK paper. And you have some profit booking that has come in terms of railway names as well, like IRFC, RVNL, Railtel, as well as Texmaco. So you're seeing the kind of rotation that we're seeing in terms of sectors. The newsmakers continue to remain in focus as well. That's all that we have in this session. Thanks for watching, and lots more lined up on the other side. Please stay tuned to BQ Prime.